All right, another fun-filled morning. This is Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is PPI, which should be jumping out any second now. Let's get that up on the screen. And where is it at? Right there. Let's see what the intraday looks like on that. Okay, there it is. So what is that? That's the bonds. So the bond jumped in price right there. And let's see, let's get this. Oh, let me change that to that. There we are. And so we have the interest rates dropping. That's what that is. They've it had come from 15 to 15.20. Let's see what the stocks are doing. Yep, same thing. Stocks have come from about 5,175 to, they've jumped about 25 points, 27 points, something like that. Not too bad. Getting back to the norm. Let's take a look at the euro. I bet the euro has looked pretty. Whoop, what happened with Mr. and Mrs. Euro? Let's double check that. You can see the big spike, so obviously something's right. Oh, let's put a second day in it. That's what it is. There we are. It'll load up. But you can see just right there. Oh, you can't see on any of that because you're not showing it. Oh. There we go. So you see the spike in the euro. It's backfilling now. And let me go back and show you the stock market. Oh, there we go. And you can see there's the stock market lifting back up, hanging out right around where it settled last night or yesterday, let's say. And you can see the bond market doing the same thing. It made a nice little lift. Now, actually, the bond market settled in the 116 area, I believe. So we're still off a bit. And then let's see what the news is. Where is that? Let's go back to that. Let's go find the news. And let's get Dukascopy chat line up. Let's get it all going. It's fun times as usual. Let's see. There we go. And let's see what the news says about it. There we are. And let's get, there's the chat line. There's the chat line right there.
You won't believe how old she is. Excuse me? I ask people
okay, right there. Whoop.
Actually, not a lot.
There we go. Let's skip that. There. All right. Let's see. So March year over year, 2.1 versus 2.2. March core, 2.4 versus 2.3. Yeah, so it's moving up again, and so it's not too bad. I wasn't expecting much from the PPI. PPI is producer price index. And so companies, in other words, are companies paring back on their purchases, things like that. There's Robin. Traders ask questions. Docs got answers. I like that. The producer price index, there it is. Good. It's up on the chat line, too. Was expected a month over month of 3%. It turns out that the producer inflation increased by 2%. Dukascopy. Meanwhile, the PPI, which excludes food and energy and products, forecast an increase of about 0.2. Forecast was correct. Doc, turn off the background. Yep, how's that? All good now. You can catch that and does trigger copyright. Yep, I hear you there. So at this point, I would say that what we're really seeing is that it's going to be the CPI that they follow more. Now, I found out something yesterday. I didn't really pay attention to it too much because I don't really care for Mr. Powell's point of view on a lot of things. And so I didn't really take it that serious. But what we're let me see. Cut that volume back down too. Okay, and so basically Powell he has a favorite inflation stat. It's called the core semi X housing, okay? And the 12-month rate is 4.8, okay? So I'm sure he's regretting claiming that he liked this index because the 3-month is at 8.2. Can you imagine? 8.2 of this inflation index that he claims is the one he watches. So why would he even think about the idea of lowering rates? I have no idea. Since at a 3-month average, it's at 8.2, and over the 12-month period, it's at 4.8. After yesterday, it exploded on the upside. went from like 4.1 or something like that up to 4.8. So, it's not. It's almost like as if they don't even have. I've been joking in my head. This is the way I think I want to describe it more than anything else. I think Powell's opinion is transitory. I think this word that he's come up with, transitory, shows that he's transitory in understanding the inflation, which is really hard to believe. But it seems that's the recipe at the end. This guy is transitory, and he has his ideas of combating inflation is so Keynesian. It's a socialist way of combating it, and whereas Trump showed the capitalist side of it, and that's why he had 1.4% in inflation. It's a policy thing, and that's really what it comes down to. What was your outlook for the rest of the week for SPY? Now that's a good question. More downside? I'd imagine sideways at this point. Today's Thursday. So let's go take a look at the SPY chart. Let's see, where are we at here? Let's go look at the SPY chart. And which one was it we were looking at? We were looking at the intraday something. What was it? Let's go to the intraday. This is the S&P. And so there's the yellow line again. That yellow line we talk about, this is the resistance. It became a support. And you can see the dots there. They run up to the resistance and break down, resistance, break down. Now, usually after 3, they usually break out. If they challenge it and the fourth one gets through there, they really try. It did it to 5 right there yesterday and failed at it. And they failed and fell back down. Now, today, they may break the resistance, and then let's tighten this up, and we'll be able to give you the projection. Probably the next target would be if it actually starts to base itself on this what do you call it? Let me see if we get to this. Okay, right there. If it bases itself on the yellow dotted line there, chances are it's going to go right to here now. The odds are very heavy to see it, especially if we get into the buy side in our our daily or something of that nature. We get up around the buy side. So at this point, what is that? That is. What is that? That is. See if I can find the price there. There, that'll show it to us right there. So we're looking at a territory of about 30 points higher, which would be about $3 higher on the SPY. So right up around the 535, 540 area, right around in there. I'd imagine that would be the area where it would start to, run to at this point. That's the way it would look to me. Now we can shrink it down and look at it in a closer rate on a very short, short-term rate. And you can see here, it went into the first buy there, right in here, and it ran up. And then it went into a sell right there just for a short period of time. And now you can see, let me just make this math much more clear since we're talking about it in that fashion. You can see it went back into the buy right here. And we had another little push. Then it failed again. And now, this one here has been in the buy, and it's just, I guess, 4 bars now going into the sell as it hit the line there. That's why I think we've changed. I didn't look that close to read if we changed my title or the way it describes me. Let's just take a look and see. See, DocDow started developing a trading algorithm. Oh, good, you did. With his first trades in 77, during the following 47-year period, in an advanced system of technical signals, supports, and resistance levels. Has what? Has what? Anyway, that looks good. That looks very good, Janos. Looks very good. I think we're probably going to, the market, let me answer that question with a very clear point of view. And the real clear point of view is, what is my outlook for the rest of the week for SPY? I would say that overall, my outlook is that there, not only this week, but for the next 5 or 6 months, the market's going to go sideways. And I think there's going to be consistent buying on weakness. The major support is in the 48 area. Many money managers will start buying at 49, 50, 49, 75, 49 even, but there's going to be a ton of money sitting there at 48 ready to come in. We would have to have a change of our thinking at this point. In other words, the market psyche itself. The market has a psyche, and right now the opinion pretty much is that buy on weakness, not only because of the Fed put, and there's a reason for the Fed put, and we've gone into that reason, and if someone wants to know what that is, you can just ask and I'll explain that. I would say it's sideways. So in other words, it'll probably develop a channel. In other words, we're going to see bad inflation numbers next month too. And so I told you that it's going to be like all the way up until July. June or July, we'll have, probably June. The core rate that I follow, which is 3 months, the last 3 months, and then you add the fourth number, which is 12 months out. Okay, so like now we're looking at January, February, and March. And then we're also looking at March of last year. Okay, so it's 2 Marches, this year and last year, and then January and February. And that's my way of measuring the core. And so it's been very accurate for decades upon decades that way. It's like I said, unfortunately, the Fed is relatively transitory when it comes to understanding what to do about dealing with inflation and even reading inflation. Mr. Powell couldn't figure that out for, what was that, a year and 4 months? It took him a year and 4 months to raise the rate from 0 to, or was it 2% or 3%? I don't know. 1.5%, 2%, something like that. Since inflation was at 1.4, you have to assume that I think rates were around 2%, something like that. 2.25%, and now they're at 5, and mortgages were at 3. Now they're at 7 or 8. So I don't believe, as I just sipped in my tea, I don't believe that that there's a problem. I don't see it, and so I would say it'll go in a sideways channel. It'll get pressed down at times. Will it go back up? We'll see. You can see here it keeps on hitting that where's that mouse at? Right there. You can see it hit it again. It's very rare for a market to do this. Now this is an intraday market. Usually it finds a way to get legs and gets through it. So that's telling me right off, right now, there's a buyer's strike. That's what that's telling me. And let's scrunch that up again, and I'll kind of show you what I mean by a buyer's strike. I don't think the funds are really reaching up for it. So the pressure, unless it gets through the dotted line area and builds a base on it, we're still going to be going down overall. Is it like a crash down? No. Is it a down like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end? No. A crash yesterday, we talked about this. The media has a bad habit of making things like 1% down, like as if the world's coming to an end. It's not. The circuit breakers are at 7%, 13%, and 20%, I believe it is. And so, no, that's a crash. What we're seeing is a contraction. We're seeing a lack of buying. We're seeing consolidation. But we are not seeing anything with a crash. So in other words, if you're a long-term stock investor, it's you sell a call. I said this yesterday. You sell a call, you buy a put. That's it. You'll be protected. You'll be fine. It's not going to go down to 4,000. It's not going to be. It's not going to be February of 2020. We would have to have a change in market psyche overall about that, and the Fed would have to be part of it. So I'm thinking whether SPY gets below 510 during the week or not. Yeah, I'd say it has. See, I don't really follow the SPY per se. Let me put the SPY up there. Let me do that because I'm more into what is it? I'm into the S&P 500. It's a lot easier, the futures contract versus the equity contract. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. Let's go find it. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. Okay, so right there. and let's go see what the price swings look like, and then I can extrapolate mathematically in my mind. I just don't. Would you believe at one time I used to trade 100, 150,000 contracts at a time in the SPY? Yeah, maybe sometimes 150,000 in one lot. No. But I've kind of steered away from that. Okay, so it's at 514, and let's see, what was yesterday's high? Yesterday's high was 16, and low was 12. All right, so 400 handle. Okay, so yeah, 10. 10 makes plenty of sense to make it down to there. Probably, when I was in the hedge fund industry, I used to trade, I don't know, 150,000 contracts at a time in the SPY. And same thing in the Qs and in the diamonds too. Do all three of them. Like, it was nothing for me to be trading 200,000-300,000 shares in a trade. I would say that I guess the question is, when you ask the question, what is your outlook for the rest of the week? You're thinking about trying to trade the short term. Well, as long as it stays under that 12 area and doesn't climb up above it, it's going to keep on failing. And it's been failing enormously well for the last, this whole day, overnight. That's why I pay attention to the overnight. And now it's trying to dig in. You can see right here. I'll put this line in here. Right here, it's trying to develop a new support area. Okay? You can see that right there. And if it keeps on bouncing off of that, then the chances are it will break the yellow dotted line there, or whatever you call it. That one there. But it's starting to build a support in here. You can see that. And matter of fact, if we consolidate it tighter, it has tried to build a support in there a few times. And each time seems to have been... See, you just take the lows, and you can see that they start to make it very clear. Let me say this, ever since quantitative easing, the markets act much easier. Their technical analysis is much easier than pre 2008-9. Basically, it's almost 2009. So you can see they're trying to build a support there. It looks like they may try to lift through that dotted line. And I would expect to see a move up to the 30 area. How does that equate with the SPY? So I guess it's 30 points. So I guess would the SPY go to... Where's the SPY at? Let's put the SPY in it. Let me create one of these things. Oh, we do have one for the SPY. Here. Let me go back to the SPY. Since that's what you're really asking. Where's the SPY at? All right, not there. It's right here. And let's move these down a little bit more. And so right there, you can see it's starting to pick up too. It's trying to get into the buy. Last time it got into the buy was right there. And it stayed in the buy all the way out to right here. And then this is an intraday chart, and you can see it's going to close in that. It'll probably break the 12 on the futures contract, the 52.12. Now let's tighten this up, and let's see if we can identify that same target stuff that we're talking about here. Let's do this. Let's go even further back. Let's make it 3 days. Let's get the calculations in there. Guess we're going to start paying attention. Robin trades that too. He's into it. I don't, like I said, I pay attention to the future contract, but I can start paying attention to it. That's not that problem. There's no problem to that. Especially if you have people that actually care. That would be nice. I'll follow anything if people would care. Now what we're going to do is we're going to widen this. And move it up like that. All right, now let me go back to, let's go like this. We'll go like this and put that there. And see if we can equate this. Remember, they trade in different volumes, so it's a little bit more of a challenge for me. but not much of a challenge. Let's put it that way. Once I get the math extrapolated in my head, I'm fine. Yeah, look at it. It's playing with the line again there. Sooner or later, it's going to break it. It's obviously going to run up to the 34 area in the futures, or 35. See, copy. And we're going to put them side by side. Paste. Oh. Paste. All right, there you are. Now, so I'd assume, let's see, time-wise. That is the, what is that? That was 7:39. This is 7:51. What was that? That is 7:51. That is 7:38. Okay, so not bad. All right, that's not bad. Also, there's a lot of bad ticks that occur in there, and that's why I don't pay attention to it as much. Let's see. I am thinking that SPY gets below 510 during the week or not. Yeah. Let's see. We didn't get there so far. I would say not, more likely. Yeah, I would say not. Another host of another show has 510 puts, 12 expire on. What's that? Oh, no, they expire tomorrow. Okay, and they also expire next week. The ones next week might get it. Let me just show you what I'm thinking there. I mean, everything is playing with a weekly and daily sells. So more than likely next week, not this week. I'd be surprised this week. It'll all come down to how they act today. Is there news out tomorrow? The banks are coming out. Does the banking profits for a lot of the major banks are coming out tomorrow, and that will probably guide that situation. But would you believe that last year banks outperformed the techs? Yeah. So in other words, it outperformed the Nasdaq and the what do you call it? The Magnificent Seven. Banks actually outperformed them. So that's something. VIX popped up 5.5% on the news and then dropped by as much from the initial reading. Yeah, I think it was flirting with a daily buy today, maybe. Let's go find the VIX. Looks like I'm going to be doing more stocks over here, too. Does Dukascopy care if we do both stocks and currencies? And being that involved? There you go. Look at this. This one's could be the push that makes it. That's this. You can see it here on the futures contract. It is pushing. So more than likely, it's done it so many times today and yesterday. Remember, there's today right here, starting right there. That's today, and there is yesterday. Did the same thing yesterday, banging against that yellow dotted line that we've been following for a while now, and so you can see here it could get up to it should pop. We should see some type of pop. And let's see, where are we at here? And widen this out a little bit more. See, that's the futures contract. And there's the stock. It's doing the same thing. So basically that line is the 1523. And it got down to 1150 today. But I didn't see it yesterday, did it? I don't think it did. We never saw the 10. Nah. So I would think that those puts will do better next week than they do this week. They may come in and do a little buying from this. The fact that we keep on hitting that yellow dotted area, and 3 usually does it. The fourth one usually takes off. We're like on the seventh one at this point. I mean, it may be sooner or later they're going to try to get it up about I'd imagine at least another 10 points, which is what's 10 points in the futures contract. Let's see. So 14. This low here is that's basically, what is that area? That area is the 07 area. Okay, so if it goes from 1420 to 1520. Okay, so 7 base 10. All right, so yeah, I would imagine you might see it get to 517 maybe, something like that, 516 and a half. Probably see something like that, 516 and a half, 517. Look at the battle that's going on that line. It is just refuses to chill. It refuses to calm down. Another host of. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do. I wanted to find the VIX. Let's find the VIX. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's what they're talking about that now on some of the financial talking shows, and they're saying they're starting to get it. It's like when Powell, after a year and a half, finally figured out that inflation wasn't transitory. A lot of them now are starting to really appreciate the fact that they're at the. Oh, let's see. So those puts are toast for then, and they were more or less a bet on the CPI and PPI being hot. Right, exactly. And so they should have taken their profits and gone. Instead, as I watched, they got theta decay over 3 days up to the CPI, regained the value after CPI, and now they are worthless. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The best thing to do is take a look at the straddle, next Friday's straddle. So take a look at the basically the 515 straddle. Tell me what that's priced at. Those options. You put the call and the put together, and that will tell you what the market thinks where it's going. Always look at the straddle. Friday. Yeah, the direction was right. Exactly. Well, what you have to do is you have to look at the straddle before you buy something like that. And then if you're paying outside the boundaries of it, or in other words, you're paying like half of it, it's tough. Option traders have it already priced. They know where the general risk is. So yeah. But Janos, look at that straddle. Tell us what it is. What is the April 19th straddle for that same product? The call and the put. And that'll tell you exactly what's going on. Oh, let's get that VIX for you. All right. Heading for the VIX for you now. There's the VIX. See, it's flirting with the buy. That's about it. It's in a weekly buy. I'm trying to think the last time we saw 3 weeks in a weekly buy in the VIX was probably in the 2020 area. Okay. Let me make a copy of this. Copy. And then paste it right there. There's the VIX. So yeah, I mean it's we've been in sells a long time with the VIX. The VIX is controlled by the Federal Reserve, so I mean they can afford to do anything they want. They can easily buy when it's going up and buy again when it's going up, and just keep on buying until they don't want it to go up anymore, and then they'll sell. They are the buyers of last resort now. They've removed the specialists. Everybody, they've made the hedge funds and market makers pretty much dance to their tune, and it's not going to change any. Let's put it that way. Let's close that. There we are. And then let's go over to there's a SPY on a daily basis, and it's playing with the weekly sell and the daily sell right there. And you can see it's been in a sell since here. It hasn't really gone that much, but ever since that one day a slam down, and it's just on the edge. It's back into the, it's right above the sell number. It's at 0.13. And I don't have much confidence that anything else is going to change. Let me know when you find out what the straddle is. Then we'll be able to talk about what the price should be, and we could look at get the two individual prices. What did they suggest in that other show? What option were they buying? They were buying the 210 strike, right? Or 510 strike. I'm sorry, the 510 strike. And I'll be able to explain to you how to use that by looking at the straddle. I've done that many a time on this show. All right, where are we at? Let's go back to DDD. Let's go look at the dollar index. There's the dollar index, and you can see it's made a little high today and it's backing off a little. It's in a buy for just 2 days now, and I think it was 3 days, wasn't it? And so you can see here it's been in a weekly buy since the 103.5 area. So it's definitely not been something you want to sell short. Even when it went into the daily sell, it was a very poor sell. That's because we were in a weekly buys right there. Let's take a look at it on the sense of, we'll go over to the euro now, see what the euro looks like. Where'd the euro go? Open Dookie Day. There it is right there. And there is the euro right there. And euro is still down. Interesting. I guess they're really disappointed. Went into the sell yesterday. And it's in a weekly sell for, this is a third week, so obviously when you got the long signal, you didn't get long, you just made sure that your short wasn't hurting you. In other words, you go neutral. And then as it breaks down, you got your choice of how to play it now. And obviously after this, it's been a winner. That has definitely made a new low. And so we'll see how this goes over the next couple days. But more than likely, they will now probably have it in their psyche that they are going to be on buyer's strike. That's probably what it comes down to. Buyer's strike. I just want to see now where we are on this. Or maybe we have it right there. Let's do that. Yeah, so it keeps on hitting this area and stops. I would imagine that sooner or later it's going to pop through it, could fail, and just roll right back over again. So, let's see. Let's widen that out. It's in the buy again. So the logic would be is if this thing closes in the buy, it needs to close in that. It has, let's see, right. It's close. It's getting ready to go into the buy. And so 213. Oh, wait a minute. It'd be you're watching the SPY. So 1523. You can buy it there. 1523 now. And let's see where it goes. It's a 24. But more than likely it'll try to pop again. Maybe go take out the, I don't know, what's that? What's that high there? That high right there is 5. It's at 5. It's at 1530 now. So it'll probably go up to the 50 area, something like that. See if it chokes and dies up in there and rolls over again. We'll see. Now, what you would want to do is, as an intraday trader, you would want to put your stop in at enough to make a profit, and or sell half of it out now and put your stop in, and try to ride it to the 48 or 50 area, that type of thing. and you're long from the 23. And that's how smart traders trade intraday. They don't let profits run away. There's 37. Let's see if we get to 50 here. Or 48, something like that. And it's going to be tough. But I think we have a buyer strike at this point, and maybe the sellers are going to disappear for a little bit. And so it'll drift up. And there's 48. So we got our 48. And obviously you would sell out half again of whatever you have left. And then put a stop in again down in the like the 30 or 25 area or something like that. And so that's how intraday traders work, gentlemen and ladies. I hope that helped out. All right, now where am I at? Oh yes, I was looking at the euro. Let's go back to the euro now. Right there, there's the euro. It's even firming up. And as the currencies firm up, obviously the stocks will firm up and so forth. Then from there, let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. Cable. Cable trying to do the same thing, trying to lift up. It did not make a new low. It did not. So that sell is not doing very well at all. And if you had a good stop in there, you'd just be out of it and not worrying about it. Usually we have so many more wins, it doesn't really matter if you take a loss once in a while. From there, we shoot over to the Swiss. Swiss is picking up a little bit against the dollar. So they're calming down. Like I said, tomorrow is banking numbers, which could add some positiveness to the market. I don't think it's going to blow them up, but we'll see what the internals are. You have to see what their internal, how their earnings look, what their earnings look like. Usually, when interest rates are rising to a certain extent, banks and lenders make money for a short period of time. They've already made. That's why the banks have done so well last year, and so that is the reasoning behind that. Now, are they going to if they start interpreting it as if they're going to start raising rates, then the banks will have problems because the people were pretty much tapped out. All right, from there, we go over to the yen, and the yen is holding on to this 52 area. We've talked about that. We've been in a daily buy from here, and we've been in a weekly buy since pretty much back in here. So the yen is making an interesting move. They've made 52 a hard place to get through, and now that they're through it, let's see how they act. There's a lot of issues, in Japan. They've been in stagflation now for 4 or 5 decades. It's horrible. A whole generation. So they need to get out of that, and they need to become more capitalistic. And that's the answer to all of it. Capitalism is the best, and the rest of it is it hurts people. It's a great dream, though. To live in a unicorn world, but it doesn't ever happen. Just look at the old CCCP, the Soviet Union. It was paradise forever, right? Paradise. No crime, paradise. All right. From there, we go to the Great Experiment. There's the Great Experiment. You can see it's went into a sell yesterday. It did drop down a little bit, but it's in the buy. Now, this is over 27 weeks, I believe it is now at this point, in a buy. You got to be careful, 26 weeks, something like that. It's been in the buy since all the way back here in late March. March of last year? Is that right? No, okay. Wait a minute. Where are we at now, time-wise? We're in... Is that a whole year? No, there's no way it was a whole year, was it? No. There it is. Okay, September. So it's been in a buy since the 28 area, basically. And it's now at the 35 area. So it's been one heck of a ride. You can see it's tried to top out in here, and the sells have been okay, but we can't take them because we're in buys all the time. So the buys have been great. They're always gaining. Let's see, where else do we go from there? Let's go to, we're going to go to the metals complex, and we're going to first look at the South African Rand. It's bouncing up, so it's losing against the dollar. When this is going down, it gains against the dollar. When it goes up, it's losing against the dollar. When it goes down, it's gaining, and it's starting to bounce up. It's trying to adjust itself. Also, at the same time, when it's going down, gold goes up in value. When it's going up, gold usually goes down in value. When here it was going up in value, and when it goes like that, it means it's going down in value. And let's take a look at gold. Gold, 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 gold. Bingo, bango, bongo. Right there, there's the gold. And you can see it's up for the day in a daily sell still, but in a weekly buy since like, what is that, February. So, since the 2050 area. So there's not a lot of room to want to sell it. And with the way everybody's feeling, the way it's all looking, gold is, it's become like the, was it like the cryptos in many ways. It's becoming, a place to go to. It's a good alternate product as far as I'm concerned. And so, what else can we say? Trying to think what else. I guess that's about it. Now let's go back to the stocks again, since everybody was asking about them. Intraday, better yet, go to that one. So it got up to 90 now. So you got like a third of whatever you had that you bought. And you're just riding it, and you can sell off a couple here or a little there. You play it whatever you want. And did it get to the 24 area? 25? No, it got up to 22 and a half. So I would say the best way to describing what we're going to see now for the next 3 to 5 months, and I would say it's a buyer's strike. And so I think that you will have at times sellers will walk away like they've walked away right now. And but I think we're going to be on a buyer strike. I don't think they're just going to, run us to new all-time highs. We're not far from it. No doubt about that. We're not far from it. But overall, the market is tight. You can see the media can't understand a 0.25% move compared to a 7% move. They both think both of them are a crash. They think that if it's down a 0.5 percentage point, we're crashing, not 7%. Hair on fire. So, all right, where else do we go from there? Let's go find another place to go. Let's go take a look at silver. There's the silver right there. And silver is doing the same thing. It's trying to lift up a little bit. Been in a weekly buy since like the second week in February, or first week, I guess second week in February. And so that will be the challenge that's going on there. I would say that metals, I really have my doubts that anybody's going to throw them out the door at this point. There's not much of a reason to want to throw them out the door. And you can always just sell a call and buy a put if anybody's nervous, and that's usually the way I see things. I've been seeing it that way for 4 or 5 decades now. I'm a little confused why the rest of the world doesn't catch on, but give them time, I guess you could say. Give them time. From there, we'll go over to copper. I saw they cut down on production on copper in China. That's one way to show some strength. You can see it's playing with a daily sell today. It's been in that weekly buy since the middle of February, and so the pressure right now must be enormous. I mean, growth in China is really stalled out. It has a lot of people there freaked out, I'm sure, and it's not like they have any direction more to go. It's a command and control economy, so there's not much that can be done. And so that's where we are there. Now let's go over to the last one, and that would be the platinum. Right there. Now, platinum was under this morning at one point, but it has straightened out now. It's threatening that $1,000 area. Woohoo! With gold trading at 2,300, it's trading just a little under 1,000. Oof! Just tell me about how strange that is. How strange is it, Doc? Very strange. Very, very, very strange. From there, let's see. I guess that's it. We go over to the energy sector. Let's check that out and see what the energies are doing right now. Let's see. Where's Mr. Mouse? There it is. There's crude oil. Backing off again. It was, yesterday they got nervous and started lifting it a little bit, but we're in that weekly buy, from the 77 area. It's awful hard, and it's been in a buy since the 70-ish area. Went into the buy like right there. Oh, how come we don't have a line in there? Let's put that line in there. And went to the buy there, and it ran up to the 80 area, and then we got 1 week in a sell right there, and it was in a daily buy through it all, so you never even took the short. And once it got, it went into the weekly buy, it could be long again from the 77 area, and now we've gotten as high as the 87 area. So it was like a $10 move. Woof, woof, woof. All right. So from there, let's take a look at Brent. Let's see what the Brent's doing. Brent was not exactly excited yesterday. I was a little surprised by that, and still not excited today. Let's change screens and look at it, like right there. Is that right? Yeah, I guess that is. So Brent, it did lift yesterday, but not with any gusto, It did lift up, and now it's back down again. And you can see here, let's see, let's go like that. So we've been 3 days now in a sell right there. It's still in a weekly buy for 10 weeks on the 10-week average too. So they're not throwing the dinosaur juice out the door yet. The dinosaur juice is in demand. Everybody, let's have a cup of dinosaur juice. Crude oil. All right, now from there we'll go to natural gas, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. Right there. Ooh, look at that. It's getting pressured there. Let's go over to here and see what it looks like. They're pressing down. And this is yet 3 days in a bind. Could be going into a sell today, I can tell you that, because as we go over to here, you see right there, it's pressing down and breaking the zero line. And we've been in that long weekly sell to begin with. So, it's 10 weeks in a weekly sell on that. It has, on the beta platform, it's been a little bit more sensitive to the action. And so it's been in a weekly buy for 2 weeks. And then it was in a weekly sell. And you can see it went into a sell here. And, and then it jumped into the buy there and then back into the sell again. But last week it went into the buy, and you can see it was a good move, It made a nice little move up. That's why we're developing the beta platform as we speak. Righty. Now from there, we're going to go take a look at the stock in Spain. Let's check that out. There it is right there. You can see it's trying to climb into the buy, and so is the weekly. Ooh, sorry, Europe. Some expenses kicking out, huh? And you can see right there, it's very firm today and going into probably a second buy today with no problem whatsoever. And that's the stock heading for 21. Had a real hard time trading underneath 20. It tried and tried. I think it got to 1975 at most. It has been very tenacious. It refuses. Now, what's this ECB? Is it getting ready to cut the rates? I see that they're yakking away right now. It says EC prepares markets for first cut in June. Well, good for them. Good for them. Is that like to motivate the Fed to do it? That's interesting. All right, there's a press conference going on right now with the ECB. I see that. All right, let's see. Let's go see how the stocks look again. All right, they've pulled back to the 1548-ish area, like that. Now, I guess they'll probably try, maybe challenge this dotted line again. Like I said, I think there's a buyer strike at this point. I think what happened was, if anything, the sellers just stepped away. And so it just naturally drifted up. But banging against that support area for so many times tells me that there's a problem. Now, do I think that 510 put will be really good? I kind of doubt it. The news tomorrow shouldn't do that much to it unless the banks come out with a really, really bad projection for next quarter. And they could come out and say stuff like, with the slowing demand, higher mortgage rates, blah blah blah, and then increased interest rates, that they're seeing their business slow, and that could put more pressure on it, no doubt about that. All right. Oh, Janos, did you come up with what the straddle was? Let's see, there it is. Let me go back over to CPI, PPI, reduced the bit of debt payments, consumers, let's see. But as much initial reading, so there is, instead, as I watched, they got theta decay, and now they are worthless. There was a downwards move to, but the whole trade, they want to get prices higher in EU over summer. Yeah, that makes sense. Reduce a bit of debt payments for the consumers. If inflation returns during summer, nobody will spot it, as the consumers spot it when they get their utility bills. That is where everyone sees it. Is that what it is? The utility bills? Well, my Spanish company is starting to make a little turn again. I'm a little disappointed on that. So they have a good chance of starting to feel some pain, as you would say. All right, this is Doc. I guess unless we have any other questions. Anybody have any other more questions? If not, we're going to get out of here. Oh, we got to come up with a title too. What title should we do? Oh, I just realized my tablet is not here. Where's my tablet? Let's find my tablet. Oh, dear me. There we go. There's the tablet. Let's see what we should label this. Okay, there it is. Let's see. What did we say? Okay. I think we're going to use that transitory thing. Title. This is going to be fun. I like that. Title. Let's see. Fed is transitory transitory. See if that does it. Transitory. Fed is transitory on let's see. on what to do. What to do, what to do, what to do. Fed is transitory on what to do. There we go. I think that's a good title today. And so, what else can we say about any of that? See, is there remains same declines a bit? Summer they won't. Okay. All right. I guess we're out of here then. All right. This is Doc from North America, not transitory, and we will catch you all tomorrow on TGIF. Tomorrow will be the end of the week, and we will see you tomorrow. And maybe what will be the topics tomorrow? I think I wrote those down yesterday, didn't I? I had a couple of topics that I wanted to go through. One was obviously about POW being transitory. And then, let's see. Maybe we'll talk about 1982 all over again. And then we got the circuit breakers we talked about a little bit today. That's a crash. Circuit breakers define a crash. Nothing else does. The media is clueless from there. All right, so this is Doc saying happy trails to you. Until we meet again, happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day, and we will catch you on the flip side. Ta-ta.